All right, welcome people. This is Mr. Hanley. I'm going to be uh, recording a video on how to set a timer in Java, and I'm going to do it in a blackjack game. I've got a blackjack game here, and the way the game works is when the player is ready to stay, they're going to hit a stay button, and instead of letting the cards get dealt immediately to the dealer, we're going to let the cards go slowly. So that's this button over here, the stay button. So, the way this game works is you place a bet, a certain amount with a slider. Say your bet's ready, and the player and the dealer both get a couple cards. You know, once we say stay, we're going to give it a few seconds. And in this case, we lost 21-20, unfortunately. First thing you're going to want to do is come in and make a global variable with a timer. That's timer t equals new timer, and we're going to do 1500 comma this. What that means is this timer is going to fire once every 1.5 seconds because this is in milliseconds. Okay? And this means the event listener is going to be this frame. So we're going to have to type the words implements action listener after we have our name of our frame. And that's going to give you an error until you put in a method called the action performed method. So we're going to come down and find our action performed. It's got to be called this. There's no other way to name it. You have to have public void action performed, action event D. And what we want to do essentially is we want to, when the person clicks that button that they're going to wait, and this is again, you have to think what's going to trigger your timer. Your timer waits idly until someone triggers it. In my case, I want to wait for the person to say they're going to stay. So we're going to go ahead and deal the first. I think this is showing the dealer's down card so the person can see what it is. And then we have the name of our timer, t1.start. You're going to need an import for timer, and there's two different timer imports. The one you want is javax.swing.timer. Don't take the other timer. That's the one you want. So t1.start means it's going to start pulsing and firing events at this frame every 1.5 seconds. All right, and we're going to go back to our action perform method, which has got to be somewhere in your class because action performed is going to be receiving the timer events. And so we can check the source of the event. If it's the next button, obviously we don't want to act like it's the timer. If it's the hit button, it's not the timer. Now, if we check the source, e.getSource equal t1, that means that a timer event has fired, which means 1.5 seconds has transpired since the last timer event. You can do things. Normally, I would have this fire multiple times, and I would bump up a global variable here and see if it reaches, let's say, 3 or 4. So we can also put in a global number of seconds to see if they've expired and count that up. I've done that a lot. In this case, it looks like 1.5 seconds is all I need. I check to see if the sum cards of the dealer is still less than 17, and by blackjack rules, they have to take another hit. And then when I'm done, I do t1.stop. T1.stop essentially means that we're stopping the timer. If they're taking another card hit, then we let this timer event fire again and again until they've gotten themselves up above 17 or equal to 17. So that's why you see the T1.stop only on this side. And that's all you have to do. That'll stop the timer from firing. And in the case if you have a global seconds variable counter, then you set the seconds back to 0 and set yourself up for the next time you're going to fire the timer. And you can see that when I just showed you a minute ago, if you're playing this blackjack game, okay, use a slider to set the amount of chips you're betting. Again, I got a 20. I must be forcing that each time because I was testing my split logic. That's why it always comes up with a 20. And dealer this time gets 14. They get 16. Timer events keep going until they get 18. They lose because I got 20. So again, that was three instances of the 1.5 second delay. And I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. Otherwise, that's it.